The following is a short tutorial on how to make a rubric inside of D2L. To start, go to Class Tools, and about halfway down the list, you'll see Rubrics. Click on that. So once inside the News tool, you can see there's a blue button, New Rubric. You just click that to get started on making your rubric. So when you click that, it's going to ask us for a title to start. So inside of here, I'm going to write discussions because I'm going to mark my online discussions with a focus on, say, research, right? You'll see that it's automatically set to draft. That will ensure students don't see it while you're creating it. For me, I'm okay with them seeing that, so I'm just going to publish it. Description will just say what the rubric's about, so I could say rubric to assess online discussions, right? And then down here, there's different types of rubrics, analytic or holistic. We generally are using analytic in the system. Number of levels going across the top, which will be 4. Sometimes I use 5 levels depending if I want to break up the level 4 into a level 4 and like 4 plus. And then criteria. Criterias are the levels down the side, which are how many categories or criteria you're going to be marking. For the sake of this tutorial, I'll just do 2. And the next one is there's 3 scoring methods. Text only is where at the end of it you'll select their overall final grade. Points is where it will give a point for each category. So level 4 would be worth level 4, 3, 2, and 1. And if you have multiple sets of criteria, we'll add those up. So if you had a level 4 or level 3, it would give you 7 points. And custom points allows you to create different points assigned to each value. So you could say, like, if they got a level 1, it was worth 5 points, and it would add up all those points at the end. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to use text only. But what we do to make the rubric is go back to the top and click on levels and criteria. Inside levels and criteria, you'll see like a rough outline of a rubric. So to get started, I usually click this top arrow in the top left corner, and then I click edit criterion group. Once inside here, it gives me the ability to change the criteria group name. So say I was using success criteria, I could put that. Down in here, I could say that it's between 80 and 100%. So give the values of each for each student. I could go through and change all those. And then in criteria names, I can go in here and change whatever the criterion is. So say I was going to do like writing 1.3 research, right? I can go in there, and then maybe for the next criteria, I want to talk about their responses, right? So when I'm done that, I can save it, and you're going to see that it's made those changes into my rubric. Now, when I want to add in the actual expectations or criteria that I'm going to be assessing into each of these boxes, I just use this arrow right here. This will allow me to go across the ways. If I use this one, it allows me to go down the ways. Most people like to use this one because it allows you to create your level like 3 comment and then build off your level 4, 2, and whatever. 1, right? So within here, you'll see that this is the setup. So I've copy and pasted 1 in here. So I'm going to paste it in here. And so when I go in here, I can remember there's a spell check. I can see I can got some spelling errors. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to replace all, and I'm going to replace all, and so that will be fixed up. So now that I have that in here, you're going to see that my level 4 comment is here, and if I wanted to, I could even give feedback as well. You're going to notice that you have access to other buttons too. You could do insert stuff, insert quick link, so you could put videos in here, whatever you decided to put in here. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to put in text. Now, just for this tutorial, just for time, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like, but you can paste in your criteria, and this is where that you could go through and edit those. But once you have them all in the way you want them, you can then save it, and you're going to see that your rubric builds out like this. Now it's very similar inside of here. If you wanted to do responses, you could come in here and you could go through and add whatever comments you wanted. So amazing responses, right? Let's just put in here good responses and so forth, right? So when we save that, you're going to see that it fills in the rubric, right? And then you're ready to go. So now when we're done, we're just going to close this. and it will go back to here. So here's the rubric, discussions, research, right? If I drop down this, I can see if I want to edit again. I can edit levels and criteria again. I can preview it, right? I can change my status if I wanted to. I can view statistics on it. There's lots of different options within there. You're going to see the description, rubric to assess online discussions is there. The type is analytics, scoring methods is text only, and it's published, right? So anytime I can go back to redo it if I want. You're going to see that these rubrics have locks beside them. The reason they have locks beside them is because they've already been used, so they can't be edited. And this one right here is already linked up to something else within the system. So to order to use a rubric, it can't be used with something else. One of the nice things you can do is say once you create the rubric way you wanted it, if you wanted to create another rubric, it gives you the ability to copy them. And once you copy them, it just makes a copy. So we'll say copy of. You can go back in and edit anything about that rubric you'd like to do. Now, if you wanted to apply your rubric to anything, so let's just say we were inside of like, let's just say we were making a Dropbox, right? You're going to see that when you go new folder and you go into here and you say, when it goes, anytime it says add a rubric, you could just go add a rubric. And if you wanted to, you could just click on that rubric and that would attach that rubric to that Dropbox or that discussion, wherever you wanted to attach it to. So that's a short tutorial on how to create a rubric inside of D2L.